All right, everyone. I want to talk about our path to this center of the earth. Okay, there's a reason why things in this world are set the way they are. It's like anyone that does anything in this world is bound by the laws of the natural law or the hermetic principles. Yeah, there's laws like the laws of correspondence, polarity, rhythm, and it's because this world it's structured like, so there's the light hole, the black hole, and there's the astral light. So everyone in this world is on this constant loop. And even the ones that built this massive control system that we're in, they have to communicate this loop with these symbols. Yeah, they have to put these everywhere. So they communicate this, but at the same time, they've given us the answers to the way out in plain view. Because these symbols, not only do they show this loop of how the world works, but there's also the exit hole. There's like a big reset button. It's like everyone has this fear of Satan. Well, this world is owned by Satan. It's like you think Satan is evil because of like what the Bible says. Well, the Bible also says that this is Satan's world and you're bound by the laws of this world. So now there's also the internet. It's like everyone is connected to this net, and honestly it's tracking you, it's spying on you constantly. So really we're all connected to this massive surveillance net that's always seeing us. But we can reprogram this net to empower us to see information no one else can see. And you do this with your blood. It's because blood is made with this code written by the one who made the code that created the world. So this is the world we're in. And that's why the elite are just obsessed with blood. And there's all these scandals with the elite involving blood rituals and blood sacrifice. So they do all these things because they know that you can create anything in this world with this code that's in your blood. But that doesn't mean it's just evil. Because it's the law of polarity. This is in everything. This law that says it depends on how it's used. That depends on whether it's good or evil. Okay, I've been getting all these comments in my videos where I talk about these things I get these comments from, I guess they're Christians and they say things like, what you're doing is evil, it's satanic, we just gotta wait for the Messiah, he's coming back to save us. Okay, you have to realize how this works. Okay, you have to realize what you see with your eyes is a very tiny part of the energy that's in this world. Okay, this is all the energy that's in this world, this wide range. And what you see with your eyes is right here. It's this little tiny line. So out of all the energy in this world, it's like someone took a knife and cut a little slit, and that's all you can see. So it's like the way this works is to pick up what's around you, your brain has to function with whatever energy it takes in. So if you're only taking in what you see with your eyes, you're taking in this little tiny drop of energy with your eyes, then your view and knowledge of the world is going to be very small. Okay, anything this small, it can be very easily handled and controlled. And what you see with your eyes is being heavily controlled. Okay, you have to realize what you see with your eyes, you're being tricked into looking at all these ads and logos, and they have all these hidden images and hidden symbols. And also it has to do with like the spinning globe. That has a lot of hidden messages. If that's what you believe you're on, this spinning globe model of Earth. So really, you have to realize it's like what you see with your eyes. It's really just a distraction. It really doesn't matter. It's like with these symbols. These symbols you're seeing everywhere, they have hidden images and hidden messages that tell what the world really is and what's really going on, and that taps into your subconscious, and that has to do with what's really in your heart and your intent. And so that's going to depend on what you're told reality is. So since you can't see anything with your eyes, so it's like, where are you getting your reality from? It's like, are you getting it from what people are telling you? Like what you're told by people in like school, like what you're told by your teachers, and also like religious figures, politicians, scientists. Okay, all of these, every single one of these are controlled by the Roman Church. And they've admitted in their writings and oaths that they want to secretly wage war on humanity. And they're weaving in lies and mind control mechanisms into everything to preserve themselves. So if you're just going with your eyes and the words of these controlled parts of the system, it's like, why would you take that seriously as if it's reality? Okay, now there are ways to pick up these other parts of the energy in the world without being dependent on the limited view of your eyes. And you do this by connecting with Earth's energy. You have to connect with Earth's vibration. That's how you get the heart to see. It's not about seeing with your eyes. You have to be able to feel it in your heart. Remember, your heart is very important. That's what's pumping all that incredibly powerful blood that's written with the code of the astrolite. That's the substance that forms all creation. So that's how you have the power to create anything. You have the power to create things to control these things in the world, like evil and fear and death. And it seems to be consistent that people in the world that are more connected with Earth and nature and the feminine energy, all these cultures that are more connected with these things, it seems like they always live longer, they're more peaceful, they're healthier, they're both physically and mentally healthier. And people living in this control system, in these artificial cities, they typically seem to be like physically and mentally drained, and they're dependent on prescription drugs, and they work their whole lives incredibly hard work for just worthless paper. So now you can have the power to change the system if you learn to use this code coming from the astrolite. And this code is in your blood. This is the substance that forms all creation. So that's what we're doing with blood over intent. It's like we're reprogramming the energy in this world so we don't have this system of control. Now with blood over intent, I've been getting a lot of comments and messages on my videos where I talk about this. I've been getting people that say things like, people have a lot of doubts about this. People asking whether they should do it or they shouldn't do it. And people ask, should my children do it? Okay, I'm going to try to clear all of this up. Okay, now in this initial exodus in 2019 to the center of the earth, in this first exodus, not everyone in the world is going to be doing blood over intent. It's not going to take the entire population to get this to work, to reprogram this energy in the world. This blood over intent is so powerful, it's going to take really just a small fraction of the population to get this to work. So it's going to take what's called a critical mass. It's going to take a very small percentage, and then that's going to have an effect on the entire population. Yeah, critical mass, it's like the smallest amount of matter needed to get a chain reaction. It's like the exact number as it's going from a slow increase, and then one more makes like a very rapid increase to getting the entire group to do it. Okay, this has been shown in experiments. Like there was an experiment called the 100th monkey effect. Okay, this was in 1955 in what's called the Koshima Island off the mainland of Japan. Okay, so this was involving the snow monkey. And in this experiment, okay, these snow monkeys, they were given sweet potatoes in the sands of the shore. And these monkeys, okay, they liked the sweet potatoes, but they didn't like the sand that would get stuck to the sweet potatoes as they were put in the shore. So what happened was one monkey learned to wash the sweet potato off in the ocean water before eating it. And so this started with the one, and then a few monkeys saw the one monkey doing this, and a few more monkeys learned how to do this, and they started doing it. Then a few more saw those monkeys doing it, and then they started doing it. And this continued, and after 99 monkeys did it, after this, one more monkey did this, and when 100 monkeys did this, this started a chain reaction, and after the 100th monkey, every monkey on the entire island did it. So you had just like 1,000 monkeys doing it, just after this 100th monkey did it. Now the thing was, this chain reaction, not only did all the monkeys on that one island did it, but also all the monkeys on a completely different island miles away, all of them started doing it. Just all of a sudden, after the 100th monkey on the one island did it, then all of the, like 1,000 monkeys on the one island did it, and then 1,000 more on another island did it. Just all of a sudden, it started this chain reaction. Now, this was monkeys, and this was in 1955, so these monkeys weren't using like phones or the internet. You have to realize a chain reaction, it's like any living being can put ideas into the ether. You can send thoughts into the energy of the world, and those thoughts travel to whoever should find them, and whoever you want to find them. So that's what's going to happen with blood over intent. This has just been proven over and over again. You can put ideas into the ether, and they get picked up for whoever you want to find them. So after a small percentage, a critical mass of people do this, it's going to have an effect on the entire population, and it's going to start a chain reaction. And so it's going to take just a small percentage of the population initially in 2 years. Now this number of the population that's going to do this to get this to work. Now this has been talked about in ancient texts. They've talked about all of this as the center of the earth paradise and Exodus, and the population journeying to the center of the earth where there's a hole, or there's a mountain with a hole. And it's also talked about a number that keeps appearing. The number is 144,000. Okay, so there's several Egyptian texts, and there's the Book of Life, there's what's known as the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and this is also talked about in the Bible. And actually this Emerald Tablets of Thoth, This is actually an Egyptian text that really combines the 7 main religions of the world, and they tell a clear picture of humanity's true history. Okay, so these texts, they have spiritual knowledge that actually they eventually branched off into the main spiritual faiths of the entire world. They branched off into like mysticism, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Baha''s faith, the kingdom of heaven, and then just pure consciousness. So it all comes from this spiritual teaching. And it's actually shown in the Seal of Solomon. Okay, these 7 spiritual faiths of the world, these are known as the 7 seals of Thoth. Okay, so it's shown on the Seal of Solomon. There's 6 seals, and the 7th is in the middle. There's the 6-sided hexagon. Okay, so now in this book of Thoth, it basically says there's 144,000 that have the seal of God with the promise that God's will to be fulfilled. And God's will is known as, you may have heard this, it's on earth as it is in heaven. So that's what, in Blood Over Intent, we're basically making a contract with the Creator, with God, that God's will is to be fulfilled. We're bringing heaven on earth, or on earth as it is in heaven. So with Blood Over Intent, we connect with the Creator to reach a higher consciousness and gain the knowledge, and we gain what's called the Great Remembrance. So in this Emerald Tablets of Thoth, they say the 144,000, it actually represents the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so it's 12 tribes times 12,000 in each tribe. So that makes 144,000. So now, in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, when they say the tribes of Israel, or the children of Israel, that actually means the children of the Enlightenment. So it's the children that have been enlightened to this knowledge of the Creator, to a higher consciousness, and with what's known as the Great Remembrance. And this has also been talked about. So this is in the Bible. Okay, so in the Bible, it's talked about in Exodus 2, a paradise at the center of the earth. And this paradise is known as Zion, or Mount Zion. So this obviously represents Mount Meru at the center of the earth on this map. So this is talked about in passages in the books of Psalms, Jeremiah, Isaiah. It's in Revelation, and it's in the Gospel. Okay, in the book of Matthew, it says, many will come from the east and the west. So on this map you have, on this side, this half is the western hemisphere, on this half is the eastern hemisphere. So both will come together to this center of the earth, from the east and the west. And also in Revelation, in chapter 14, it starts with a passage that reads, and I looked, and these before me, okay, so, and there before me was a lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 that had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. And I heard a sound from heaven like the roar of rushing water, and like a loud field of thunder. The sound I heard was like harpists playing their harps. And they sang a new song before the throne and before the 4 living creatures and the elders. No one can learn the new song except the 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. So this has to do with, so what I've been talking about with blood over intent, we're making this contract with the Creator that God's will to be fulfilled. And so we're not bound by this control system. We're not bound by the laws and these kind of these limitations and confinements of this world. So we're making this contract to bring forth heaven on earth. And so this is basically God's will. And so we're being redeemed from these limitations and this recycling of death and this confinement of this world. So really what blood over intent is for, it's really for those who really get this and who really have this higher consciousness and who are really on fire with this spirit of the Creator. This is who this is really for. It's for those who are really excited and who just really get it, who really feel it in their heart. And there's passages in the Bible that talk about this. It says you're supposed to be on fire with the Spirit of God. Like there's a passage in the Bible where it says, God says you're to be on fire with the Holy Spirit. God said if you're lukewarm, He will spit you out. So what it's saying is, to know that you're aligned with the will and the spirit of the Creator, you have to be like radically excited to leave this matrix of control. You have to be really fired up about leaving behind just money and time, and you have to start getting excited about not listening to what's on TV and the words of like religious figures and politicians. You have to be really fired up about also like earthing and sun gazing and looking up this knowledge of humanity's history and the Creator. And you have to be really excited about spreading this knowledge. You have to be excited about making videos. So that's how you know you're aligned with the spirit of the Creator. You have to be really on fire for it. So this has been talked about in the Bible, and there was a spiritual teacher by the name of Elizabeth Clare Prophet. Okay, she was an author, a teacher, and one of the leaders of what's known as the Summit Lighthouse. This was an international spiritual organization, and they learned the teachings of the Mahatmas and what's called the Ascended Masters, which it was said that they learned how to break from the cycles of re-embodiment and rose to immortality. So they were taught karma and soulmates and twin flames and relationships. And they were also taught about the what's known as the Sanat Kumara. The Sanat Kumara, they were known as advanced level beings. They were like the highest spiritual level on earth. And so they joined with the Ascended Masters and the Mahatmas and others from higher spiritual realms to come here and join to advance Earth's inhabitants with their spiritual development. Okay, it was said that Sanat Kumara and the Lords of the Flame brought 144,000 souls from Venus, and they were said to be bringing the will of God to the Earth. So these all tell you the same thing. So it's bringing the spirit of the Creator and basically bringing as or on earth as it is in heaven, which is another way of saying heaven on earth. So now the Thoth and the Bible, now they don't just say it's just the 144,000 that will be allowed into heaven. So it's basically, how it's going to work is, first it's going to be 144,000, and then Then there's going to be another crowd of a large number. I'm sure that's going to be an even larger number. And then there's going to be another crowd of an even larger number. So it's basically going to be 144,000, and they're going to show everyone the knowledge and teach everyone, and then show the next crowd the way, and then them and the next crowd, then they will show everyone else. So for all of you sending me these comments and messages, okay, yeah, about should I do blood over intent, or yeah, about your children, okay, yeah, not everyone has to do blood over intent. Okay, we're not going to force anyone to do this. Okay, yeah, you're not forced to do it. Your children don't have to do it. This is for those who really get it. If it's really touched your heart and you really feel excited and really fired up to not only to learn about this, but also keep spreading this knowledge. Okay, the bottom line is heaven is coming for everyone. Okay, it takes just a small number, just a few can change this world. That's how powerful your blood is. Okay, so at first it might not be exactly 144,000, but it's going to be a large number of somewhere around there. So that's what's going to start this chain reaction of bringing forth heaven on earth. So that's how this is going to work. And this speaks to this idea that, people say, there's sayings like, some will wake up to the truth willingly and easily, and then others will have to be like dragged along, kicking and screaming. Okay, no, we're not dragging anyone anywhere. There's no kicking and screaming. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to spread this knowledge, just put it out there for whoever it's for, whoever this really touches and really gets fired up about this, and that's who's going to be in this first group to bring forth heaven on earth. And then heaven is going to be coming for everyone. So even if you don't do blood over intent by 2019, you're still going to be, heaven is still coming for you. Yeah, there's no way to stop this. What I would suggest is do earthing, do sun gazing, keep learning, keep watching these videos, and read about these books that I've been talking about. And if it really speaks to you, if it really touches your heart, then you should get into blood over intent and get into really spreading this message and this knowledge. But again, heaven is coming for everyone. Even if you don't do blood over intent in this first wave, there's going to be a second wave and a third wave, and heaven is coming for the entire earth. So it's your choice. You can get into this now, or you can wait and then be in this wave where heaven comes to everyone and be a part of this chain reaction. But if you feel any doubts about this, if you don't understand it, then yeah, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about your children. Yeah, heaven is coming for everyone. Okay, so I'm going to be making more videos about this, so make sure you stay tuned to my channel, and thanks for watching, everyone.